What's up, crypto world? We're back again for another episode of Crypto Junkies. It's been an incredible week this week with a lot of meme coins capping off an incredible week. We've seen so many meme coins shoot up 1000x, 100x. We'll be talking about a lot of those coins in this session right here. I just want to quickly give a quick introduction to two of the guests that we're going to have on the show for today. We've got Crypto Katie joining us live.
Hi, everybody. Well, I've been daily fixing for so long. Now I'm a freaking junkie. I'm so excited. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's an addiction. Crypto junkie is definitely an addiction.
Yeah.
And then we've got the lovely Canna Pope as well on the other end, who's gonna quickly jump in and give us a quick shout out on some of the things that's going on in the crypto space as well. Once we're carrying on with what we've got right now with our meme coins. But yeah, I'm just going to jump straight into it. It's been crazy. Quickly, just to give you a quick insight on what's happening right now in the meme coin space. We've seen Iggy Azalea jump into the meme coin space. A lot of celebrities are jumping in right now, making crazy waves. I don't know if you've seen it, Katie, but it's taken over all of Twitter now.
The memes on all of the meme coins it's wild. It's popping off.
It's
right
insane.
Now.
It's absolutely insane. Like, I think we covered this coin last week in our session. I think we was looking at around 60 million to 50 million in market cap in the last week's session, and now it's, it broke 250 million in the market cap region, which gave people
a good unreal
from their returns. I know, you don't get that anywhere else other than crypto. It's absolutely
people started
insane.
paying attention. People started paying attention at that point, I think.
They did, yeah, and literally, I think a lot of people didn't really have the expectations of an Iggy coin to actually, take off and take flight. Like myself, I didn't think it was gonna, reach this point. But yeah, micro caps and meme coins. If you're a celebrity, you can just launch a meme coin and it's just gonna fly. So
it's just gonna go off. It all depends on what happens later, though. How it everything lands and sticks around. That's where your celebrity status comes into question. I think it's important.
Agreed. Yeah, because like literally as soon as this happened, I don't know if you guys are aware of Hulk Hogan, the wrestler. He actually dropped his own coin as well. It was the Hulk coin. And literally when he dropped it, it went flying. It went straight from 1 mil to like $12 million market cap, which we did catch in NFA Discord in the micro cap section. But unfortunately, as these are meme coins, anything can happen. If you delete a tweet, for example, it goes straight to piss. And that's exactly
down, baby.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He deleted his tweet, he deleted the video, and the coin has literally just fallen off the map. And hopefully whoever was in there, they did get some good gains. But if you're in coins like this, you have to make sure that you've done your due diligence. You have to make sure that you take your profits when you take them. Normally when it goes up 2 to 3x, I normally take 50% of my profits, and then I just let the rest run for a moon bag. So yeah, with the celebrity meta, keep an eye out. I think Andrew Tate's dropping a coin soon. He did say he's going to drop a coin soon. So
that's going to be riveted.
Great. Speaking of tweets, a great time to ask people to retweet the show, let people know. If you're not following along at NFAOFC, give us a follow. Same with Remy Rye or the Crypto Katie. We will be doing this every Sunday, going over the market from these shit coins that the king of is here, and the market in general and the rest. Sorry to cut in, but I thought it was a good segue to let people know.
It was perfect.
Stick with us for sure. Stick with us. See what happens to the Tate coin. I can't wait.
Not a chance.
I'm gonna be watching anyway.
Pope, you did say you're gonna venture into some micro caps. Will you be jumping into Andrew Tate's coin?
Not Mr. Tate's coin. Not saying there can't be money to be made.
Not just to throw a little bit of NFAOFC's money in there, see what happens.
But I will be trading with you once we're relocated and settled. Kind of a thing, because I am in longer trades, which we'll go over a little bit later. But I'm not here to steal your thunder or your show. Mother, I did see early, and I thought the name and then the Iggy, it was one I was kind of choked. I missed. And then I'm not going to say the one you dropped yesterday. I'm not falling into that trap. But I was even on the road at the time, and I'm like, man, it's always when I'm on the road when you drop the contract addresses. Those are the ones that tend to hit. I think it's just my dumb luck. But yeah, let's see what you got in store.
For sure. Yeah. Like I said before, with Iggy, it's one of those things where a lot of people didn't understand what she was coming into the space to do. And we've seen recently that she's been involved with Fred Guy. They've got their own podcast. They did something with Iggy as well. So, she does look like she's coming into the space for a good reason. And hopefully it's not just to suck money out and suck liquidity out and disappear, but we see it all the time, so I'm not surprised. Another one that I'm looking at.
So how do you know? I'm so sorry, but how do you know if one is kind of legit or not? Because you see somebody like Iggy Azalea and other celebrities have done this, and it hasn't gone so well. So is there something? Is it just because of the people she's working with that you feel a little more interested?
I think so. I think it depends on who you have advising you. If you're a celebrity like Iggy, you've definitely got advisors working on behalf of you. So there was rumors that Iggy was working with someone who's notorious in the crypto space for working with celebrities and launching meme coins. So a lot of people did have that skepticism with this and understand that maybe it's something that might just be a quick liquidity grab. But I think the space took to the post that she was doing, because I think on her Twitter, a majority of her Twitter is literally just filled with mother and her posting memes. And this is a multi-platinum recording artist doing this, and it's all over her Twitter page. So it's something that I think the hype of the space is pushing. I'd like to see where it eventually goes. I don't have high expectations for it, like I did say last week, but I do think if the momentum does stay with meme coins and the celebrity meta, I think this is kind of like the birth of it, I guess. And this is the first one, then yeah.
Can you put that back on the 15 minutes as I think you had it on prior?
Yeah.
It was 15-minute. Go on the daily. You were looking at it at something I wanted to cut in.
It might have been the hourly.
Zoom, widen it a bit. I'm just kind of looking for a pattern in there. It definitely has that wedge forming. I hate trying to look at TA on microcap because that could easily go right down to that bottom on the candle there on the left of the support around that 10-cent mark. But it is showing compression in a wedge. And like you said, sometimes eyes on the prize is all it takes. Would be curious to see what happens.
Yeah, like we said, all it takes is one tweet to just send this either flying or the other way, and that's meme coins. It's 50-50. And just to go back to what Katie was talking about with how you would know whether this is something that you want to invest in. Again, like I said, it's just how does the person who's launching the coin take the space? Like if they're what she's doing is she's doing the right things, like she's jumping on the right podcast, she's communicating with the right people on Twitter, and she's literally just thrown herself right into like the DJing space. So I've haven't got high expectations for this one, but I'm not ruling her out on making some waves in this. And like I said again, if the celebrity meme coin meta does take off, this is going to be like the mother of the coins, as she
This
said.
is the thing, because as soon as like this, the more, I mean, celebrities are in there now, but the more celebrities just kind of go in, and now just how it's advertising, everyone is seeing it. It's going to be a really interesting shift in the market, I think. I just don't know how long it's going to take.
Agreed. Yeah. And even if I just go to this one, literally, which I just had a second ago, we know that the Trump coin has run to $600-700 million in market cap already. Solana want to have their own Trump narrative coin. At the moment, there's something that's just launched. It is the Donald Trump Jr. coin. This is something that I am looking at right now. And Donald Trump Jr. is an advocate for crypto. He did jump on Twitter Spaces yesterday with Dan Bilzerian and Andrew Tate. and they did talk about how good crypto is for the economy, and obviously taking it away from the dollar and taking the power back. This isn't Donald Trump Jr.'s official coin. I don't think he will have an official coin as of yet, but this is something that I am looking at. And guys, I will have to disappear for like 20 seconds, so I've just got to answer the door quickly.
This is where we need that intermission music. That'd
be great.
Do your duty. This is real life, you know.
That's okay. Pope and I can talk about something for a sec.
Yeah, I can remove you if you need be.
Yeah, just drop me off.
There, yeah, no worries. Let me know when you're back.
Oh, he's still. Yeah, there we are. So, my little primate friend.
It's been a while. Lots of changes coming. Lots of changes going on for all of our daily fixtures. I liked what you said there in the beginning when you're like you went from a fixer to a junkie.
I mean, that's a good thing, but it feels good right now.
Yeah, no, it's as you know, as we discussed, the daily fix for being in long trades was getting to be a little bit much for our schedules and everything else. And when we're looking at long time trades, the worst thing you can do is look at them every day, because it's enough to drive you crazy to handle those emotions. So we will go over the trades we're in, or obviously the market, which a couple of days ago, I guess, as everyone's aware, the sky was falling again. And it's literally brilliant. As you know, I've been away. It was my mother's 79th birthday. I hadn't really looked at the charts for quite a while. And when I got ready for the show and I just had a quick look, I had a quick chuckle, because the amount of DMs I got about is the bull went over, was that it? And then when you zoom out and you look at anything and you're like, we're exactly where it makes sense to be. We're still doing the sideways chop. In fact, we're consolidating in the top part of all of the consolidations, so we're in a healthy, good area. But we'll go all over that as we finish up with the man, the myth, the legend himself.
I'm back.
Delivered.
Real life problems. I need my own Tesla robot. I need Elon to build that very quickly.
Yeah, there'll be a coin for that eventually.
Yes, just like Grok. But yeah, no, as I was saying with the Donald Trump coin, that was something that ran all the way up to $600-700 million market cap on the Ethereum side. Solana doesn't have anything in the region of like the politician realm. We've seen Joe Biden coins run, and I'm sure eventually, as this election heats up, that these coins are something that's going to push the space a bit further. I did see Andrew Tate say that he will donate $200,000 to Donald Trump's campaign as well. And I'm sure he's probably just going to throw some crypto out there, or some of these meme coins out there. So a lot of people are speculating on what that coin will actually be.
A lot of people are at the ready, I think. A lot of people are just holding on to their 200 grand.
Yeah.
Ready to make it rain somewhere.
Literally, yeah. So this is something I am looking at. It has held up quite well. It did, take off quite early as well. And, like I said already, Donald Trump Jr. is someone who is advocate for crypto in this space. I'm not necessarily sure he will drop his own token, but if there is something that kind of like replicates who he is as a person and, shows memes for himself, then, this is going to be probably the main one. But I'm going to jump into something else, a bit of bad news on the crypto side for meme coins as well. This is what happens in the space, and this is something that was posted in the NFA Discord as well. And with these meme coins, they do disappear off the realms, and sometimes you do get a coin like this where you're in at a certain point, you get your profits, you have to take at a certain point, you can't let it run after a certain while. Like I said, I did take 50% of this coin as well. When I did get in at 20K market cap, I did take it when it was around 50K market cap. But unfortunately, what does happen with these meme coins is, the developers can just rug it at any time. So you have to be careful in the space. It is the wild west of the crypto space, meme coins, especially when, you know, coins are around 40 to 50K market cap. They can just disappear straight away. And look at that. We've got a market cap of $232. What can you do with that? Not much. So be careful out here in this space. There are multiple coins that will automatically just disappear, and you can lose a large part of your portfolio. So always use $50 to $100 when it's Solana meme coins. If you're on Ethereum, I use maybe like $150 to $200, but Solana does have a tendency to you know, just disappear because gas fees are so low. No one really cares. They just take anything. So yeah, be careful with these coins. Just a bit of NFA out there.
This goes into a question I had. It's like, because I mean, you kind of answered one, but how do you decide? Because of the our indicators, or the indicators don't tend to work this quickly, right? This early. So how does everyone kind of chat with each other, or how do you figure out when that point is like, okay, a certain percentage needs to come out now? Or because you're, like you said, you're only putting very little in, right? These are
Yeah.
just kind of for
Yeah.
fun and what you think you can do. So at what point, because I know like with Pepe coin or what we're just looking at here, there's a point, you know, of no
There
return, right?
is.
And then maybe, right? So I'm just wondering how you know.
Yeah, so again, it just depends on the sentiment as well. So for something like Pepe, that was something that I caught on day one. So that was back in April, was it 2023? So it was just after I think it was NFT NYC. You know, I got back, I was on the train back to my lovely home in the UK, and I saw that it literally just launched. And, you know, when I bought it, I only put in around $150 into Pepe, and then this was at like 10 mil market cap. So when it did start running, you know, it automatically, it moved too quick for me to actually, you know, take advantage of it, because I was like, you know, I was traveling. And then when I got back home, it was already around like 60 to 70 mil market cap. So I was pretty confident on what I currently was holding. You know, Twitter was talking about it everywhere. And it just felt like it was the coin that the community wanted to push to $1 billion market cap. And that's just like a feeling. It's hard to actually like,
That's what it sounds like. It just is
like
instinctual a little bit.
yeah, like Pope says,
Yeah.
you can't really do TA on a, well, you can on a meme coin, but like when
Yeah.
it's this early, you can't really do anything with a coin like this. But again, with the sentiment and the feeling and seeing what other people are saying about the coin and the community,
And people you trust, right? Like you've really got to
of
go to your
course,
sources of people. So
of
because
course,
there's so many things that come on my Twitter and they're like, look at this coin. I'm like, who are you? You
yeah,
know?
yeah, no, for sure. Like I've only ever said that I have faith in a few coins, and I've only said it in 3 coins in my lifetime. One was Pepe, one was Shib, and one was Grok. And you know, when I send it to people, I will say I've got faith in this. And when I say that, a few people can back me up that you know, these coins actually make its way to multiple X's, and that is something that I will hold. But when it's like a newly launched coin like this, if I'm catching it when it launches, I'm pretty much in and out, especially on Solana. On Solana, I don't really trust this this eco chamber. You know, everyone takes their profits when it's like $5 to $10. No one really cares. Like, and that's because of like, you know, the gas fees. Like, there's hardly any gas fees on something like this. You know, if I see some of the transactions, look at that. You can see buy of 3 cents, and you can see sales of $28, sales of $2, sales of $12. You know, no one really cares, because the market, like the market conditions for Solana is, if you put something in, like you can get it back out instantly. You know, gas fees are only like 8 cents. But something like on Ethereum, where your gas fees are going to be around $10 to $15 probably today, but you know, in the peak of the bull run, your gas fees are probably going to be around $50 to $60. So more people they tend to hold if the gas fees are quite high, you know,
Just
and
to
they
make
don't really,
the withdrawal or what the movement worth it.
yeah. With something like Solana, you can just swing it. You can be in and out so quick. You can buy it, you can sell it, and be like, you know what, I don't want to get back in. Or you can buy it and sell, and keep buying and selling, because the gas fees are so low. And that is the positives, I guess, of Solana. But again, at the end of the day, it does make it a echo chamber where people are incentivized to sell. And yeah, so with Solana coins, I'm pretty much in and out.
All right. So just follow you guys and trust you guys, and also know that it's not your responsibility if we fuck up. And it's
Yes, of
and
course.
it's up to you what percentage you put in, and
Yeah,
and if you need
especially
a fix, or to talk to us and bring yourself down, come and hang out.
yeah, hang out with us. Yeah, we all lose. Like I said, with this one, this is something that I did lose 50% of my my investment in this. And with meme coins, there's always the negatives of this, and I will always be open with everyone on whether I'm making a gain or whether I'm making a loss, and that's part of the game, and that's part of building trust as well. So yeah, that's
Well, we
it for me
certainly
with
we certainly didn't start all this to be with the idea that we were going to be successful all the time, right? We're
yeah,
just going to be like, well, it blows this month. Let's do our best. So I
for
really
sure.
appreciate you hanging out with me and teaching me some stuff and welcoming me back. I appreciate it.
Sure, no worries. I'm done with my meme coin, so
Yeah.
take it away with whatever you got.
Sounds good. Well, I think we were going to go in after and talk to Can of Crypto Pope about the money flow cycle, right, buddy?
Let's do it. All right. So it has been a while. If you are new here, how I like to trade is I like to analyze the money flow. And the money flow is all of the money in crypto. Is it coming? Is it going? What is it doing? And we've been doing this for almost, since January. Over 80 shows, or right around 80 shows on the Daily Fix. A bunch of hunts, a couple of emergency, what the fuck was going on in the markets, and now a weekly special with the Crypto Junkies. So some of this TA has been here for quite some time. And when we look at what's going on in the total boots, in the total market cap, this is why I say I'm not really panicking or panicked with where we are in the market, because I mean, let's just take this section of time right here. How long has this been? Well, pretty much from here, because we came from here. But so from this day to today, 19 days, we have been in the top or the bottom of this consolidation rectangle at about 2.4 to 2.58 trillion dollar market cap. And this is one of those things when we say money moves quickly. Damn, did it ever 2 days ago? And depending on what time of the day would it dependent on when this curl started to happen on our micro bull indication at the now, because we're still in this bull sentiment, but we can see we've leveled off. Our indicators are not indicating to the downside. They're absolutely level, right? We have, in 5 hours and 35 minutes, we have a higher high than our low, or sorry, a higher low than our previous. And we have 3 touches parallel channel down. Makes sense to respond. Just trying to look at patterns and see. But on our stochastic, it is saying there may be a little bit more of a pullback for money to enter, or it might even be turning around. RSI at the moment is healthy, right in the middle. So we talked about chop and sideways consolidation, and these W's that may form all along, and that consolidation. And we're having proof that this 2.57 area is being tough to beat. it is acting as resistance, you know, and in this area in here is starting to act as support. So I'm not panicking. The sky isn't falling in my world. And when we look at, I'm going to get rid of that. What's that? Yeah, at 19 days. When we look at it on the weekly, I mean, we haven't touched these lines, and I can't tell you how long. Months. Our next candle in 5 hours on the weekly is the retest of this daily breakout. Oops. How's our micro bull on the weekly?
How many days left? Sorry to interrupt. How many days left do we have on this? I can't. I'm losing my mind.
5 hours and 33 minutes. And
For the next weekly candle?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Right. So on a weekly, is the sky falling? Look where we came to on the weekly, on that pull down. And we almost made it to our height of resistance. We're in a great spot here. We've cooled down. This to me is still no reason to panic. This is still bullish momentum.
Yeah.
With healthy retracements. But you pick what you want to see and what you want to believe and what you want to consume. And I've been actually having a very nice break from social media, dealing with all this family and move and stuff. And when I just quickly logged back in today, it was just as if I never left. On a red day, everybody's panicked. And what we've been talking about, we're still not in a Bitcoin cycle. Or sorry, in an alt cycle. We're in a Bitcoin cycle. This is our accumulation phase.
Yeah.
So on these down days when everybody's panicking, you need to be buying, if you have those monies, in the coins that you believe in, you know, in the coins that haven't had the attention. Because on a weekly level, on our total market cap, we're looking good. There's nothing wrong with where we're at and how it's been responding. Does it suck that it hasn't gone to the moon and we're all not sitting in, you know, gold pools? Of course.
Gold pools.
Right? So our last week, we marked up the dominance a little bit, you know, and we did this last Sunday. You know, we said we're probably going to look at it go down and wanted it to go up because we want the money to flow into the market. And it only flows up in two conditions. If alts are bleeding and the money is leaving, or if money is being dumped into the total market cap. So same thing, just looking like it's going to be following these W consolidation patterns that we've been talking about. We want to get it cranked up high with a lot more money coming in. And then we want the bottom to absolutely fall out of it while maintaining the money in the market. It hasn't done it this market. We've talked about this a lot. The money has been leaving faster this bull run, this cycle, this last 2 years than previous. They're taking these smaller gains and taking them out, which has got to be extremely frustrating for the short-term swing traders. And it's a little frustrating for the long-term too, because you tend to round trip more. Based on just quick glances, you know, we probably have already round tripped a few testing the strategy of just hold of what we're doing. And if you've been following these trades along with us, there's been multiple times I've told people, cash out here, take the profits, and then rebuy it later. this is an experiment. I'm on the road. I won't be able to do a lot of this. And we're going to see how this continues to go. But the dominance is doing pretty much what we thought it's going to be doing. And its effect on the market is exactly what it does. And understanding how dominance and your total market cap work together is crucial. Is crucial to trading, because it affects the almighty Bitcoin. And we talked about the possibility last week that this could come down, because
we did.
It had this curl.
I remember.
And we said it could come all the way down here to retest this 65,189.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't. This is where you get the compression and the breakout in either direction. And we even said we didn't think this was possible because we're in bullish momentum. And it took off.
Yeah.
And look where it got to. Right in here. I mean, the wicks made it right to the top of that wick. 72,053.
Literally.
Right there. Candle bodies, just below that wick there. Boom. So what did we do?
Yeah.
We held here as support. That's massive, because we're no longer holding here as support. Right? So this is actually showing quite some strength. And we said we wanted to go up and we would be retesting this high and probably come back down, and that it would be jagged on the way up. Well, here's your jagged. And, when Bitcoin moves, it usually does it fairly drastically. Right? But it held here. It created a new support at the 69. I like how Supreme took that perfect shot in our Discord, the 69,420. I was like, I see what you did there, buddy. So this here is a great example of how we had our support line from eons ago drawn. It broke out, but never was able to retest it before. Look how it broke out here, wasn't able to hold. Tried, wasn't able to hold. Tried, wasn't able to hold. Resistance, right down, all the way up. Everybody, yay, we're going to go. Boom, resistance. And what do we know about a retest? It has to settle outside before it can take off again. Look what we've done. We've settled outside. It's downward.
At this point, would you throw some more, maybe not change them, but throw some more trend lines in there? Just because
we can absolutely
maybe not right now, but
we can absolutely update it, right? Because this goes back months, right? We've been talking about these entries and these curls and these values before they happen, and then we already know the geopolitical and blah blah blah, and we just had a bunch more. I actually did something crazy last night and I watched the news, and I haven't done that in ages. And there is some still bad news really going on in the world. This is showing some strength even with the bad news. So this is, to me, strength and reassuring. We've retested this past pattern. We're still way easy up on this trend line. Okay. And all these lines here were support and resistance, which I'm just going to clean them up now. Make this a little easier to see. Okay. And now let's take the doom and gloom bottom of the box off, because it seems more reasonable now. We're most likely going to be consolidating in this region. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is that just because you are finding this support throughout? It tends to be
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And if we get a bearish cross and we start to go down, then I would add them again, to look at levels that we might get to. But right now we're leveling out. And we know we could probably throw a few in. Let's get on to a lock here. Got so much stuff on my desk, I can barely see the screens. So we have the support resistance roughly in here. Split some of the differences there. And then obviously the bottom of our rectangle. So right now our three major stops on the way down would be 1, 2, 3. On the way up, we're clearly hitting somewhere in here. We'll go somewhere in there. And that's enough. So now we can absolutely update these trend lines. Oops, sorry.
How do you feel about getting rid of the stochastic down there and just for now? Or do you? Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. That makes it helpful for. I just want to see how tight these are. Oh, I'm going to go on Wix on the daily. No, it was bodies on the daily. That's right. Wix on.
And these are all things, just so everyone knows, these are all things you're doing on the daily, and then the colors, if you're doing them on the weekly, would be different. So you get an idea of, where the strength is.
So now even, it's even showing our areas in there. So we know we're going to need to retest these resistance levels and get out, because as we had our previous breakout there, I wouldn't be surprised to see a little consolidation and takeoff, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we have something like these candles. Let's try this body to body. I'd be just curious, if that actually did something to 74.5 psychological. That's just my brain looking at something differently. But if we zoom in quickly now, that's bullish on a 4-hour. Belly of the bear. This is my favorite consolidation. All we need is a micro bull cross on the 4 and to retest this again. Stochastic, money coming in. Bollinger.
What's the percentage of that where it is now up into the next not trend line, sorry, support and resistance, just so I can get an idea.
Right there before the trend line, 1.35 to our current localized high, 2.82.
Okay, cool.
Which are reasonable movements for Bitcoin. Oops, sorry if that was loud. So again, I also see, and you've heard me say this many times, I sometimes kind of believe in the weird physics of things where, what goes down must come up, and we have the compression there. So to me, to have this down that much makes sense to go right back up to that much.
Yeah.
Because to me, this looks artificial. Could have been a hunt on stop losses, which probably that short squeeze heat map, I'd have to do a little more digging because I have been away from the big drop Chicken Little storm 2 days ago. So one of the things I have been thinking about with the trading style of this kind of a chop market is a lot of people are asking me about stop losses and where are you putting them? Are you putting them in? I've said this many times before in a bullish market. With my strategy, I always have cash on the sidelines, so I'm tending not to use stop losses to avoid wick outs. And if we do have like the black swan event that happened with geopolitical, I'm using cash on hand to rebuy dollar cost entry my positions. So I'm still doing that. I don't have stop losses in. What I am thinking of doing is switching it up for the fast wicks in the other direction and having take profits at these higher points for these fast wicks and take profits of about 50% of the bag. That is a strategy of what I'm thinking about right now. What I don't like about those is if it hits it and your micro bull is spread and it's got all the legs to run, you can miss out on that. So there are all these little kind of tunings you can do to your strategies. Right now, as I said, for this trading series, this was to be a 2-month trade, and to look at it when I get settled in Vietnam. So I will be still holding to that and go from there. Hey, Targaryen is here. The Crypto Crate is glad you're here. So am I. Same with the Remy. And we do excited about Valley, but saw big liquidity sells for around 70,000 BTC on
There is. Yeah.
And is that a big surprise?
It's all-time high.
You know, it's the high. It's that where that resistance is.
Yeah.
Right. Here's your support and resistance down. Yeah. This is this chop period we're now in on the daily. It is this top part of the consolidation box.
Sorry, kind of just to butt in quickly as well. Just some fundamental news on what's been happening over the past 15 days. It's actually been one of the lowest 15-day rolling volatility number in history. You know, I think we're at, just at the bottom of the 6% of occurrences for volume over the last 15 days. So what normally happens after we hit like a bottom of volatility is we just shoot all the way back up. So I guess after we break this period of the all-time high, I can see some strong volatility coming in. So I'll probably post something in the Discord shortly. I've got a Cointelegraph article up of the lowest Bitcoin volatility records, and we're hovering within the 6% of record low levels at the moment.
I do not think that this, with everything going on, minus black swans, minus all this, not financial advice, of course, I do not think that we're going to get a big, belly or bear or anything that's going to take us back down to these levels. Not saying it's not possible. I'm just not seeing anything giving us that direction outside of another black swan event. So Bitcoin at the moment, I think has shown some health, some strength. It's kind of nice to update these charts and see where we're at. I wouldn't be surprised. I have a little bit of pullback to the support at 69,359 before we take off again, or we could just close this candle and rock it as we have had the 3 touches down. It will be curious to see this week. Absolutely. Let's see how this has affected our Ethereum. This has been
has Ethereum finally had its day. We've been talking about that for like 6 months.
Still, I mean, Ethereum's probably been one of my favorite calls of this cycle, because we've nailed it right up into the geopolitical from early January to selling out the top. To giving some good trades for others to get back in. As you can see, our bottom entry here was 3063 for our last 2 entries given. Now, we're still in a little bit of danger. What I mean by a little bit of danger is same thing. We haven't played with any of these TA in pretty much a lot of this has been since January. This is proving to be resistance. And we wanted to stay in this upper consolidation area. And we do have a slight curve. And the problem right now for Ethereum is the meme coin focus. They're love it or hate it for whatever it is, the attention, the disposable income, and the money is on those. And it is part of the cycle. You know, Ethereum will have its day. I've been saying that from day one.
Yep.
It's the only centralized, it's one of two decentralized blockchains, and everything, there's so much that runs on it, it's not going anywhere.
Is that just why we like the layer 2? Because I mean, I know you said it's a little older, but this is why just layer 2s are kind of popping off a little bit, just to help it out.
Yeah, well, layer 2s make it a lot more efficient, and Ethereum is also becoming a lot more efficient with its updates and uploads, and that's healthy. That's good. And people are starting to see the gas actually has come down on a lot of things already.
Yeah.
Like I remember the days of multiple ETH for gas, and so when I see people complaining about $20, I'm like, oh my god, you have no
It's
idea.
amazing.
Yeah, and I'm like, remember, it's a tax write-off, people. So
is this a pendant, or is this a flag of some type that we're looking at? Like, can we just? I don't know. It's just consolidating on. You know what I mean? There's such a when it's that level, it confuses me as to sort of how to read it.
Great call. So this is a tough one, and I don't want to draw on it because it'll just pull up all of our past stuff, and I don't want to lose that because. So we have a couple of things here. We could have a pullback right down here. If we want to play pessimistic view, we could be preparing for a micro bear, and we have a big artificial up. We could have, which was the ETF news. I don't think it's artificial, but artificial by how fast it went up in relation to growth. We could have a micro bear and a pull down to retest some of these levels before consolidating and taking off again. Huge possibility. On a technical analysis level, you're right. You were right when you said first, because we have a pendant, right? It's not a wedge, because we have basically a square happening of consolidation right in this area after a big up. What it's doing is consolidating, and we know consolidating brings compression. Compression brings one of two things: a breakout to the upside or the downside. Here's the shitty thing. Our indicators outside of stochastic aren't really telling us too much. We got close to a red-green on Bollinger Band. We have almost an entry on stochastic, which would give back theory to the bullish pendant, and off we go. But with the attention focus and everything else, and people maybe not seeing the instant big return from the massive ETF inflow that everybody thinks it's going to happen, just like Bitcoin, it had a pullback after. Will ETH? I don't know. This is a spot right now where if I was looking to get an ETH, I'm holding my breath. I'm not jumping in. I don't have enough confluence or enough indication for me that ETH is going to the upside, other than market sentiment and a bullish pendant. Personally, I do believe we are moving to the upside, and we're going to probably try to retest here, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see some shorts trying to get it down to that, these levels that it would probably stop at first would be somewhere in the mid threes, possibly low threes. Doubtful, saying we're in an entry, saying we're typically at the bottom of the band, but it's a tough one. On the weekly, this next candle could be the third red, the third down. And we've left the buy position on the stochastic. So I wouldn't be too shocked if we did test this bottom, that 3,500 level of ETH. I always want to look positive and go forward thinking. I do have long-term bags of ETH. I'm not touching them. But the reality is you can still be in a bullish momentum and have massive pullback. Right? Nothing is up forever. We want these, these pullbacks, these ups. This is healthy growth. So I wouldn't be surprised to see down here and then take off again. But if we had a lot of money injected into the total market cap this week, I wouldn't be surprised to see ETH hold this as a bottom and then take off. But that is definitely going to come down to how much money is being injected into our total market cap.
Yeah, completely agree, Ken. I think the main narrative of Ethereum would be the ETFs. And I think recently we've had news that ETFs will go live within the next couple of weeks. But then obviously recently, I think the SEC did say it's all dependent on the issuers. So I think the steam has probably slowed down a little bit, but as soon as more ETF news comes in, it will move in one direction or the other. But like you said, for now, it's up in the air on what direction it will go. And they can just drop it whenever they want, really. If they want to get a nice entry before they actually launch the ETFs as well, that could be another thing as well. So yeah, I'm up in the air where it's at right now, but obviously long term, like you said, if you've got ETH, just sit on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's, for me right now, there's better opportunities with your money in other tokens. It's always good to hold ETH and Bitcoin and have that as part of your portfolio a long time. But if you're in to make bigger percentages, there's absolutely many different ways to look at it. So I've shared this screen with people a few times, and this is the total market cap on how I look at it. When I'm building these longer or shorter trades, I always want to start zoomed out and then zoom in. So just to quickly retouch on the total market cap, I mean, on the monthly, how we doing? I would say we're doing pretty damn good. We got spread. We're only 10 days in. We went off to the races with all the excitement of the last month. We've had a pullback, which this is a weird one for May, because it's typically sell for May and go away is the expression. And we had a great May. It was April that really sucked, that we don't need to relive, but we're looking healthy on the monthly. It is showing a little bit of retracement on stochastic, but I mean, that would make sense with what's been happening. So it gives a little more fuel to the fire that we are still in a bullish momentum. If you are swing trading and you're wondering, what's going on, you definitely have to get in on these lower time frames. And I mean, that's gross. This is how fast. Ooh, where is it?
The FUD has been out of control because of all this stuff going on.
Hold on, I gotta do that so I can get right to it. $157 billion, 6% of the entire market cap of crypto left in 4 hours. And people are wondering why the sky has fallen, but look what happened. Belly of the micro bear. Belly of the micro bear. Let's get that micro bull and get back up to this 2.58. And it, probably going to have some resistance at the 2.5 psychological 2.495 by the look of it.
But you gotta pull back to get some perspective sometimes, And FUD is fudding. It's fudding the crap out of it.
So
If you Targaryen has got it right.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you look at the data and not the the echo chambers as we call them. And when you even look on this 2 hour, I mean, how beautiful of a consolidation curve. Now we've had all this up in the last 2 hours. Makes sense that we'll have a little bit of pullback here, which would be probably some good accumulation areas on tokens you might be looking back at, because we know typically when you get across or just before it, we are going to see a little red. Even on stochastic, showing us we're going to see a little money exit here. So I'm saying the short term, we'll probably see a little bit of a pullback, and then hopefully we got that bullish cross and we're pushing up again. So same thing. Very happy with how the market is looking in terms of bullish sentiment. Obviously, wiping 157 billion, 6% off the total market cap is going to affect all of your trades that are long term, And when we looked at how we got in to dollar cost average, so we know as soon as we get in on our bottom line or above it, we're in profit. And where our targets are in some of these, a lot of these are still looking healthy on the weekly. This is still in profit. Was it as much profit as it was last week? No. Have we told people to take profit the whole time? Yes. As everybody knows, I sound like a broken record. I'm on the road. I'm not trading. I designed these to be held for another, 5-6 weeks from when we entered.
And this is what we started in January, right? So we just kept saying, don't look at it all the time. We were looking at those kind of talking about swing trading, but not really doing it to do the TA. But this stuff we have been waiting.
And, well, these ones were beginning of April. This was our fun. How do you buy before a Black Swan event?
Where was I?
We got the cash out at the top, which was nice. Then we waited for our entry, which was, I believe, 28 hours prior to the Black Swan. And then it has been basically now a trading series about how do you recover from Black Swan events.
Oh, the geopolitical stuff. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
I do remember. That was a day. That was a week.
Yeah, but it's been great recovery since. I still believe in a lot of the trades we are in. A bunch of them are still in profit, but a couple are with this last, little bit have pulled back. And Algorand is definitely one of them, and we were in profit a little while ago. We did say, if you're here and you're comfortable taking profit, to take it. Was not expecting to be retesting our support down here. We do have this micro bear on the weekly, and we could zoom in. And with this money coming in, looking like a buy entry, Algorand is another one that I may do a repurchase now that I'm home for the next 3 days before I take off again. Because we are, as I said earlier, in the accumulation phase. And there's a lot of these great tokens that don't have the attention because it's on the get rich quick lottery scheme meme.
They are.
That's going to switch soon. Trust me on that one. That will switch. We're still in the Bitcoin cycle. As soon as we get out of that Bitcoin cycle and switch to an alt, I can't wait. And I'm hoping it doesn't happen for another couple of months still. So Algorand is probably, I think, our second worst performer next to Cello or CeeLo. Now, this one's funny because since January, we have made hundreds of percent off of this token on multiple trades on the show. And we haven't touched any of this TA from eons. And look where it came right down to, this weekly trend line. And it held as support, but we do have a bear. And what I've always said, what I love about Cello or CeeLo or CELO or however this thing is ever called, when this thing wants to move, it moves. And we are still going for this cup and handle formation. And remember, we were in this token originally early January. So even to current price, you're at 23, but we rode it all the way up to there and got out. And then we re-entered with our profits, and then now it's doing what it's doing. But on a stochastic, it's giving us an entry period. Probably another one, I will dollar cost our total of all that is entered and get in down here. And we'll probably put a stinky wick bid in to see if we can get another entry to Cello, because like I said, when this moves, it moves fast, and we've already had evidence of that previously in the year. Avalanche, I mean, are we just slightly below again? This was one we said to take profits at the weekly support up in here. It is just slightly below our entry with a micro bear on the weekly. This is one I will watch again because I always say with Link, having Avalanche in your portfolio right now, if you don't, coming up looks like a great time to add it. Dot right around our lowest entry. And this is the definition of round tripping. And this is what can happen in long trades. And this is why you don't look at it every single day unless we're looking for accumulation or if something is absolutely going dire or wrong. Same with Phantom. We did say to take profits when it had massive profits from our bottom entry.
I'm still in that round trip. I'm round tripping with
Oh,
Phantom.
yeah.
I bought a ticket about a year and a half ago, and
Yeah.
I'm still taking the ride.
We did a 42% trade on that. I told everybody, please take profits, whereas I did not, for the sake of this trading series to see what happens for long-term trades. And we are still slightly in profit. Thank you, Phantom. Fetch. We are down in Fetch, which none of this is really surprising after seeing the last few days. On the weekly, I mean, we haven't been down in these levels since early April.
Yeah.
This could be easily a red out, green in. We may get another bid and another entry in Fetch. Now, if anybody has any tokens they want us to have a quick look at before we wind up the show, Feel free to drop it in our comments or in our Discord. We can do a quick markup. Filecoin consolidating in profit, still looking good for our localized target of 69, where we'll take some of our profit and then we will leave some of our bags for our long-term target. Remember, these are long trades. I can't wait to start doing fast trades with you all.
Desi's asking if ApeCoin is ApeCoin ever coming back?
Oh, Desi. That's the $1 million. I'm going to do ApeCoin after this just for you, Desi.
I think he wants the crystal ball. That's what he's hoping for.
Oh man, he is my crystal ball, and he just gave my secret away.
Why is he asking? It's 22 Gargarian said, could we look at Beam and Big Time if we have time?
Oh, I've been wanting to look at Beam and Big Time. I do have small bags of each, not in series. This was the fake news that we told everybody to take profits on. Once again, I was away and I was unable to, which was 136% in 2 weeks. Of course, I have that right there. Was it 136 or 140? So hard to see. Sorry, 136 in 7 days. Hopefully some of you did take profit on that. If you've just been following the long, slow trades along with this experiment, you are still in profit. And on the weekly, we're pulling up. When we're pulling up this much and the weekly candle is almost over, that's strength, and we have 3 down. Typically, that's on our way back up to retest these areas. And this is our first take profit target, where we'll take some and then we'll leave some to ride, which from our entry will be 65%. Chainlink. The hell, man? Look at that on the week. All that up to come back. But look how it held. And look where it's holding. At resistance. Right here, it's probably going to turn into support. And then off again. And if same thing, we talked about taking profit when it got to, when it got up to the weekly, it went slightly above at 43.94. We did say to take profit. And even if you didn't and you've been holding, you're still in over 20% profit at the moment. So a lot of these trades, they don't look like much when you look at the distance and stuff, but a lot of these trades are still doing very well for recovering from a black swan event entry. Some a little below, which is also a little painful. Telcoin we never got in, and due to the nature of time, we'll get back to that. Telos, I really want to look at what the heck is going on. This is the one major red flag right now for me in the series, because it does look like we're about to pinch and possibly come down more. I'm going to do a little digging to find out what is causing this, if there is anything, or if it's just eyes off the prize, because we are possibly also forming a wedge. So I don't want to make anything hasty decision. I'd rather reaccumulate and go off, but I also want to make sure there hasn't been some bad news. Let's jump into a few of these requests.
A little ape, a little beam, a little big time.
And a little IOTX. So we're going to turn this into a 4 chart. We're going to turn this into 8 because that was first.
I got to look up. This is not something I'm familiar with, so I have to look up this one.
There it is. 8. Beam was one you said, yeah?
Yep.
Beam,
And big time.
Big Time.
Yeah. Big time's gaming, right?
Yeah, they both are Beam and Big Time.
Okay. So I don't know why I was thinking AI. It's been a while.
And Ape, but Ape is also the chain coming and other use case scenarios. Let's start on the weekly on each of these. Let's start from scratch. All right. So where are my tools? This one's for you, Desi. Is ApeCoin ever coming back? And to all my fellow fam in Ape, I'm just going to turn off that. So on the weekly, we can see this area right here, and I'm going to use the wicks. And I'm going to take off our indicators. So we can start to see some support and resistance coming into play here. And I'm just going to mark this up rather quickly. Oops. It's been so long.
22 Targaryen is
Bitcoin
prices.
sorry. Does the Bitcoin prices affect the apes prices itself? No.
No, it doesn't.
That's a really good question, though.
Yeah. As to the why, because the Bored Ape Yacht Club has nothing to do with ApeCoin other than its creation. Otherwise, it would be a security. So it's left to the DAO and a few things. It's kind of junky, but it'll work. So, I mean, it doesn't look pretty.
I'm really curious about where you're going with this.
Well,
If anybody is new, we have a bunch of modules about how to, and we're doing it here all the time, that teach the TA and what Pope is doing. You can hear his brain working and doing TA in his head while we're watching, but you can go check it out. And these work for all coins. We have our indicators, and so Pope's just trying to see what the future holds. Not financial advice, of fucking course.
Just want to say a good shout out to just under 100 people in the live stream right now. Make sure to retweet and like and share and drop us a follow. And if you are watching from YouTube, make sure to hit that notification bell as well for when we do go live.
Can you tag Iggy Azalea? Is that her name? Just tag her in there.
I could do. That would be dope.
Most of our viewership, if not all, is on Twitter. We'll have thousands of views on Twitter and 60 on YouTube or 6. Make great help to us. Jump on our YouTube, NFAOFC, give us a follow, hit the bell. And you can also ask us questions there. So the reason I have this big red line is that's danger. That's, fighting for its lowest area. Lots of compression, wanting to go. This is what concerns me. Is our micro bear. Is there news actually on ApeCoin? That's a lie.
See, how am somebody like me supposed to know that?
That's
right. That's why I'm here every week. Okay.
So we would really like to see this be shallow. We really want to see price get back to doing this. Settling anything below here is just gonna cause this to spread more. We have the 3 touches down. Stochastic is not, it's saying we have a little more pain, which would make sense at the $1.14 level or a little bit under for an entry. If I was looking for an entry, I'd probably have a stink bid. Probably right around there. But I wouldn't be entering that stink bid quite yet.
You just want to wait for a couple more candles? Is that what you're hoping?
Yeah, I want to see where this belly is going, because since it is a new week and this candle's almost up, that spread could easily go that way with some FUD or some bad news. But I mean, we've only ever been down in these areas now in early mid-April, and then just recently. It's a tough one. I would be waiting. That's where I think my entry would be, on the 8th. But same thing as we talked about before, with all the other events coming, 8th Fest, 8th Chain, and a few things, I wouldn't be surprised to see, this kind of eventually play out over time. Obviously, key resistance is where it's going to bounce back, and we'll need to retest each one of these areas, and then hold the previous. So it needs, the one good thing about what's happening here is, I can't even say that. One thing that's troubling there, and what I'm looking at, is this is a lower low. So this really needs to belly out to go, or we could have a possible another entry, which possibly wouldn't be a bad idea to have a second entry and divide those two. That could be a very real possibility. My 2 cents on ape. I always try to be impartial against it because obviously I am an ape, and I've done very well on this token. Right now, sadly, looks like there is a little more downwards action before an upwards trend. Beam. Beam. So Beam was another one. If you've been following us, that we gave you in January. This early January that we gave this, and you could have ridden a nice high. Oops, I'm clearly on lock. Let's get in to the daily. Would I enter Beam right now? Full disclosure, I am in Beam. With our micro bear, micro bull indicator, if you're new, you will know that I always like to enter at the belly of the bear. There's a belly right there. There's a belly right there. This is geopolitical, even though you would have had great profit up to there. If you were just doing quick swing trades, I'm still wanting to see a day or two, but the problem sometimes with that, we discussed multiple times, is it could just do one of these and you could wait for a lower entry and not see it.
What does that mean? Do you want to, sorry, what does that mean? Do you want to use?
Sorry, like rocket candle, take off a big green candle. So you might be waiting for an entry here, but then it just takes off.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You never see this point again. Gaming hasn't had its due yet in the space. I mean, it has since January. We've had some great returns in the space already with it. But I don't think we've seen a lot of what's out there to come. So week obviously was not enough data. So let's see what the daily is showing us on a TA level. We have a triple top right there, coming right back down, showing support in this area, which was resistance right on that wick, I mean, that's insane. I love that kind of shit. So this was clearly something artificial. I would have to dig in to know. See this area where that is there as resistance, you know, and then showing support now in this direction. So we have a bullish wedge. We could have the possibility of it to come down to this level or somewhere into here. As well, but it looked like that belly was starting to form and that it does want to hold right in around this area in here. And that's just quick and dirty. We're not zoomed in or worried about exacts, but it helps us paint the picture. Doing all this without our indicators at the moment to just see where the TA is actually telling us. Let's block this too. I think that's enough support and resistance for now. Obviously, we're going to step all the way up at these ones too, but we don't need too much of a clusterfuck going on the screen. So we absolutely could come down and play the retest before we go up on a technical level. That looks absolutely possible, with possibility of even coming down in here, maybe flushing out some stop losses before movement to the upside. Does really look like it is holding here. Probably wouldn't hurt to have a stink bid in there somewhere. Just to give this an idea of current price to major resistance localized is around 80%. I like those kind of returns. And clearly been holding. So Beam to me is a great hold. It's a great long time hold. We've done well with it. I'd be wanting just, if you didn't have the time to look at it on the regular, I'd put a couple of stink bids in. Since we did the others, let's do these ones. And part of the strategy you can always do too is, if you're unsure if it's going to rocket and you're going to miss it, and this is how our trading series started, is you can buy it at the current price and then put a couple of bids below. So if you have $1,000 to go, you can say, I'm going to put 3 bids in, $333 at the current price, $333 at a slightly lower, and then $330 at a lot lower to hopefully catch a stink bid. If I was to be looking at getting into Beam, I probably would have an entry in there and possibly right there.
It seems reasonable. But then you're still going to wait for, you're still waiting for more candles and watching.
Yeah, this is just like quickly off the cuff. Mm-hmm. But like for me right now, I wouldn't be. Yeah, this, you may even get a stink bid down here, depending on how this goes. This could come all the way down to these levels easily. If money leaves the total market cap and it's on a bearish cross, oh yeah, I could easily retest this level and this level. If you want to play more cautious, do that.
I'm not sure the answer to this question, but 22 Targaryen is asking, is it the more often candles touch the trend line, the weaker it gets?
No, typically it takes 3. It's a weird one. Typically it's 3 touches, 1, 2, 3, and then it's the retest and breakout. And then sometimes if the 3 doesn't work, it's 5. Mm-hmm. That's typically the next statistical average. Now you might argue that this is a touch here, so there's 4. The next one could be the breakout and whatnot. Right now, it's on a downwards. I think you probably would get a little bit of a lower bid in, but if you were worried about missing out on Beam, and you don't want to stress over a little bit of percentage now. If you're holding it long term, just buy on red days. It's a green day.
And then don't look at it every single day because it'll drive you
bananas. I think that was important why we stopped the daily fix to go to turn into Junkies, because these trades were designed for a long time, and looking at them every day is enough to drive you insane. Even Stochastic is saying we're coming up into a buy position, and RSI really healthy low. Not a lot of volume lately. Interesting. It's because the attention's just not there. Love Beam. This will be huge. I've been saying that since January. Not financial advice, of course, but if you were wanting to get into a little bit of crypto gaming, tokens, Beam and Big Time, absolutely beautiful tokens to become involved in. Let's have a look at Big Time. Big Time was another one we gave in January, which I can't remember when we actually got in. It was a good ride. We did miss this part of it in November, but we did catch it on the way up, and I've had a little bag of it ever since, and it's looking like, oops, I'm unlocked. It's looking like we could have a nice cup and handle formation here. It would really need to hold this level with this micro bear to make that happen. If it was to go from its current price to its most localized high, you know, you're looking at 241%. I want to say we did about 100 and some odd percent on Beam. I'd have to go back. But this is, you know, you've got to believe and have faith in your indicators. This is telling us price is moving to the downside. This is telling us price is moving to the downside. It hasn't been down in these levels quite some time. So I would personally like to think that this is a shallow and the money is going to flow in, and we can see some hopefully consolidation and movement along these kind of lines. Obviously, we are going to have some support and resistance. I think it's just fighting right there too, where it's at these levels. Now, what are these levels? I mean, here's your consolidation rectangle. I mean, literally. But will this hold? Oops. Will this hold the support? Is the big question. This needs to hold as support, or it will go down if it doesn't. And then we could be looking at this level as opposed to this level. So what are these percentages? From current price to there, 14, 24, 35, and then that. So this could be considered a really ugly cup and handle here. Alts, when the market panics, alts are always the first to bleed. So this doesn't surprise me. And if you've made this much gains, you know, in 2 weeks, 60%, nobody's going to time bottoms and tops perfect. But if you're in the 35 or 40% in a couple of weeks, you definitely need to be taking profits. And that's why we have these ups and downs. And we talk about the W's of consolidation. You know, if this just does this for a while, great. Buy, sell, buy, sell.
You'd be a happy monkey, wouldn't you?
Oh, I miss it. Yeah, I mean, same thing. Big Time should be in your gaming portfolio. Not financial advice, of course, but if you're into gaming and into crypto, absolute solid project. Same with Gala. You've heard me talk about a ton of these before. I'm going to show you something a little new and a little interesting. And he's actually going to come on our show. Well, be one of our first guests. And this is IOTX, I won't go too much into it because we are going to have a special on this. He is going to come on, and we are going to talk about the project. And actually met this gentleman. If you've been in the Discord, I made a little announcement about it on Bitcoin Pizza Day. And it was a really interesting project. I think we have some time to maybe get some, entries a little later or a little lower in this area. It looks like we're coming up to a micro bear cross, possibly. Obviously, the total market cap will decide, or we may have a hold here to the movement in the upwards direction. Still saying on stochastic, we're probably going to go a little lower, which makes me think we're going to see if we can hold these levels here and here. So I'm just curiously watching and looking forward to bring them on to talk about the project. But just to put this in perspective, from current price to its localized high, 52%. And I always find when you do find interesting tokens and people and teams, and you actually meet them IRL, and you get the feel for the passion that they have behind the project and things like that, it can really change your opinion on some of this. When I first showed this in the Discord, I believe we were down in this area here, and I said it looked like a good entry. Supreme mentioned that how low the market cap was, which I said is a great entry. We had some great return, but I still think we're looking at entry, and stoked to bring them on the show. And that, for me, ladies and gentlemen, is the total money flow cycle, where our trades are at, what I think is happening and on the market, plus a couple extra from you all out there. Often the old time frame emotional roller coaster is exactly the period of time we are in right now in the market, in my opinion. And I'll even add that with the woohoo, even though we mentioned that earlier. Kate, you are on mute, just to let you know.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I just laugh all the time, so I'm just going to be cackling over what you guys are saying all the time.
Any questions from any of that from you two?
No, I'm currently making some micro cap trades right now, actually. So
He's trading live on the show,
and I'm trading, so it's part of the game. You never it has to be in your hands almost 24/7, otherwise you miss a play. So
that is
that goes against our whole go out and smoke and touch grass.
Yeah,
I can't
at the moment. It's quite late.
Oh, perfect. It's funny. That's why I do it at night.
Yeah.
And people asking me about the stop loss and the entries and things like that as well. It's also very important for the timeline you're trading in and the type of token you're trading in. Microcaps, obviously, in, out, smaller, investment style. But even as we've seen in the trades we're in, going through a lot of them, there have been many opportunities to take profit along the way. And there's never anything wrong with taking profit. Nobody goes broke from taking profit. And, at the end of the day, we're here to make money. And if you're comfortable with the amount of money you've made, don't question it. Just take it, because there's always another trade around the corner. We can always find another entry. It's whether or not you get greedy and then you're round tripping, or you in long-term trades, medium-term trades, and all that.
Or you get comfortable, you taking profits, and you stop following kind of the system, the percentages that you wanted to stick to, because you can get really confident, and then on the other way you can become a chicken immediately, right? So just stick with that same system and the percentages we've been talking about. And like what Remy Rai says, he's not throwing thousands of dollars into these memes because he's smart. You know what I mean? He's not throwing everything he has on a hope and a dream. So Yeah.
Agreed.
And takes profit relatively quickly. Like he knows
Mhm.
his TP points, right? Like if he's saying, hey, I'm going to take 50%, laddering in and laddering out are great strategies.
Yeah, I'm literally almost 60% up now. It's been a couple minutes actually, and just in this trade, which I've posted in the Discord. But again, like I said, it's luck of the draw with some of these coins. There is quite a strong community narrative at the moment pushing for this one, which is 69 Pepe. But again, it's another Pepe derivative, and what you see with Pepe derivatives is that they don't really last long. So again, if you're in profit, make sure you take your profits and
And
get
then
out
you
quick.
also don't know which one's going to stick either, right? So
Literally, yeah. It's a
absolutely.
gamble, it's a lottery
If you
ticket.
would have told me Whiff would have stayed, I wouldn't have believed it. Rock, I can see because of the AI narrative behind Twitter, even though X is nowhere near associated with it.
Yeah.
I can't fight the memes. I've hated memes and shitcoins from day one. I've been in the space when there's been less than, 9,000 cryptos. Now we have over millions. But when you have market caps of Pepe and Doge and some of these others, and they have this history and our tools work on them, it's foolish not to actually play them. As some of you may also know from the long-time listeners, we called Pepe coin pretty much around its birth, and we did, a 3,000 cash out on it, 3,000% cash out on it this year. And that was posted in our Discord and Twitter as well. So there are some memes I will play and some of these little ones. I think it's going to be fun when we do the weeklies on the regular now to also get into some of our live trades when the markets and our times allow. You guys are awesome. For those that don't know, you can get in our Discord. Not financial advice, of course, NFAOFC. You should be following the Crypto Katie and Remy Rai on Twitter, and me, of course, if you're not. And same with NFAOFC, because this is where we are posting when we do these. We do Crypto Junkies on the weekly, and then every now and then we do surprise shows to cover what's going on in the market.
Yeah.
And for
especially
those
like the black swan stuff that we've seen and all those things. So yeah, it's like an emergency AA meeting.
Right. And anything that's going on with questions that you may have, we try to be able to answer them as fast as possible. Shout out to all of our members of NFAOFC that aren't on stage. Amir, Supreme, who am I missing? Primo and the others that are always there to help and answer questions in the Discord as well. It's been great. I look forward to seeing you all next Sunday. I'm still packing and I'm on the road again in a day. So I won't be as active probably for the next month, 3.5, 4 weeks. I got the news I'm moving my parents on top of moving myself. So I threw another monkey wrench in the plans, but that's what it's all about. IRL, helping family out.
And that's why we're doing long trades while you're doing that, so you can actually keep up on it and not, lose your shirt, which is
and
great.
as you know, like literally first time I've looked at the charts, and I'm in quite a few days, and on Twitter when I'm not just standing in line or on the ferries. It's been great. You guys are awesome. Thank you again for all you do.
Thanks for having me back, you guys. I really appreciate it. It's been a while, so it's I'm stoked to be, hanging out with you guys here.
It's been a breath of fresh air. It's been a breath of fresh air compared to hearing Amir all the time. He did say he just dropped me a message. He did say he'll be back quite soon. So
sweet.
guys, look out for that.
Nice. Also on the next show, I haven't forgotten when we've kind of done this whole switch from the weekly, the daily to the weekly. We did have a couple of live prizes still to give away. I have not forgotten about that.
Oh my goodness, didn't that get put to the wayside immediately?
Yeah, they will. So much has happened, right?
Oh no,
they will happen. We will get it out to you. Always been a person of my word. I haven't forgotten. It's just that pesky IRL thing sometimes. With that, that's it from me. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Good night.
Later, Gators.
Peace out, guys.